Good afternoon, and welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program.
This program is sponsored in its entirety by the Southwest TV Translator Association and supported by the Dolores County Broadcasting Network as seen on DCTV Channel 32.1.
The News at Noon program is in the pilot stage, and we hope to bring a variety of news and commentary for the Four Corners region. Give us your feedback and news alerts at 677-4119.
With all that said, I'm Kendra Cook, and my co-hosts are Kelsey Kiesling and Jerry Tope. Now for January 5th, 2016, here's the news. A group of companies from all over Colorado are banding together to help reduce methane emissions waste across the state, as seen on a report on KJCT last fall. According to the EPA, methane is the second most predominant greenhouse gas emitted from human activities in the U.S. The Center for Methane Emissions Solutions is a group of companies working to reduce methane in Colorado by using what's called a leak detection system. Companies in this organization say detecting leaks provides a lot of benefits to the community. Jim Armstrong, president of Apogee Scientific, said it benefits us by improving the air quality, by providing resources back to the community, and providing jobs to the community. Colorado has ranked third in the nation for the emerging methane mitigation industry. Now it's reported that the Heartland biogas facility in Weld County, Colorado, is one of the country's largest waste treatment plants to convert methane into natural gas. As reported recently on NPR, the wastewater treatment plant in Grand Junction takes in 8 million gallons of raw sewage, which produces lots of methane, which used to be simply burned off into the air. Now, using more infrastructure, the facility refines the methane further to produce natural gas chemically identical to what's drilled for. As the community has been replacing fleets of trucks, buses, and cars with natural gas-run vehicles, they now have an ample supply to cost-effectively supply a locally generated fuel source.
According to the Journal, a jury is expected to decide the fate of a Cortez man this week, charged in connection to a Friday the 13th knife attack. The alleged victim was hospitalized after suffering a collapsed lung at a 2-hour hearing last week. Public Defender Katie Whitney requested that Chief District Court Judge Doug Walker stay the trial, stating prosecutors violated a disclosure rule in regard to a 2-page DNA report. The genetic report, touted as the most important piece of evidence in the case, should have been made available more than a month ago instead of last week, Whitney said. Robert Espinoza, 45, was arrested and charged with first-degree assault on March 13th. According to police, the 30-year-old alleged victim suffered both a 6-inch laceration on his face and neck and a puncture wound on his back. Jury selection in the first-degree assault case was set to start Monday. The trial is expected to last through Wednesday. According to the police, the knife attack at a residence on the 100 block of South Washington Street ensued after a dispute between two females earlier in the day. Whitney said she intends to argue that her client acted in self-defense after he was stabbed in the shoulder. If convicted, Espinoza faces up to 30 years in prison, according to the prosecutors.
According to a report by Rick Salinger of CBS Denver 4, he's investigating the situation involving the Denver police posing as pot growers on Facebook. According to their report, they're conducting sting operations and have landed at least one deal worth tens of thousands of dollars. The internet social media websites have become a high-tech marketplace for drugs. On Instagram, one post reads, "Place your order today, gets shipped out before 8 a.m. It was Facebook where Denver police say 26-year-old Sean Edelson responded to a picture placed by them in a well-planned sting. It was a photo of a marijuana grow with the words, "Getting close to peak, taking orders now." The reply, police claim, from Edelson was, "I'm the type of person that will take everything every time." A meeting was then arranged and court documents allege $64,000 in cash was shown by Edelson to an officer as payment for 36 pounds of pot. Edelson was promptly arrested. He now faces charges in a case which highlights how law enforcement is using social media to crack down on e-commerce in drugs. Gordon Combs is a former Larimore County Sheriff's Office drug investigator who would go undercover on the internet to bust drug dealers. Quote, "If they wanted to know who I was, they could search social media that would confirm my character," Combs told CBS 4. On Craigslist, CBS 4 has shown there are plenty of ads for marijuana sales on the black market. But what those responding to the ads now don't know is if they have been placed by police. Denver Police Department policy documents on reverse drug sting operations emphasize that they caution investigators they must have sufficient evidence that will demonstrate the predisposition of the suspects to possess or deal illegal drugs. Others indicate that it's very difficult to prove entrapment.
According to the Journal, at $2.2 million, the top estimate to demolish the former Montezuma Cortez High School building is more than 15 times the budgeted amount. Last month, RE1 school superintendent Alex Carter told school board members that the lowest demolition bid received was $1.3 million, nearly 9 times higher than the 2012 $145,000 estimate. The highest demolition bid topped out at $2.2 million. In September, board members directed Carter to seek demolition bids after city officials became irked that the building could become another community eyesore. In case estimates were over budgeted as projected. The board also instructed Carter to devise a facility study for potential uses and options to place the building on the real estate market. Plans for the last 2 directives have yet to be unveiled, but Carter has indicated that a workshop would be held this month to discuss all district facilities. An agenda has yet to be released for the board's next meeting on January 19th.
With all this snow, you know the ski resorts aren't complaining, at least around here in the Southwest. Reported in the Denver Post, practically all of the Southwest resorts, Taos to Purgatory to Wolf Creek to Silverton and Telluride, all are enjoying the benefits from the new energy joining the El Nino snow gun. In a region that labors in the shadow of Rocky Mountain mega resorts, this boom is certainly welcomed. At the renowned Taos Ski Valley in New Mexico, billionaire conservationist Louis Bacon is spending $300 million on improvements, like a new chairlift up the resort's famed Kachina Peak and a new hotel anchoring a base area redevelopment. As reported last month, James Coleman, the new owner at Durango's Purgatory, spent $6 million over the summer adding a new high-speed lift and better snowmaking equipment. Coleman, whose investment team also owns Parajito Mountain and Sipapu in New Mexico and Arizona's Snow Bowl, has boosted traffic into Durango with an unlimited season pass to all 4 ski areas. At the Telluride Ski Resort, they've had almost 13 feet of snow this season, with a 48-inch base depth as of January 5th. 130 of their 147 trails are open, with 48 being groomed. The momentum is there. Resorts have seen gains in visitor spending. Visitors to Taos climbed 10,000 in 2014-15 thanks to the new Kachina Peak lift. Wolf Creek saw visitation dip, but revenues climbed. Same for Purgatory. Telluride saw a record 478,000 visitors in 2014-15, and lodging revenues soared 33% despite snowpack that dipped to 50% of average last season. Add all that to the promise of heavy snow from this surprised El Nino weather pattern that favors the southwestern mountains, and the southern resorts are poised for a record year. The article noted that's especially if they work together. Tim Petrick, COO of Silverton Mountain, said, "We are all very different, but we are very complementary in a way. There's certainly going to be some outreach to see how we can collaborate and make this really special place in Colorado a more compelling destination."
According to the Denver Herald, Colorado lawmakers representing Southwest Colorado are preparing for the upcoming legislative session, with focuses on the aftermath of the Gold King mine spill, rural health care costs, wildfires, water, transportation funding, and voting integrity. Republican Representative J. Paul Brown of Ignacio is facing a bit of a complicated legislative session after defeating Democrat Mike McLaughlin in 2014 to take his seat back. Brown once again faces a tough challenge from a Democrat. This time, the opposition comes from McLaughlin's wife, Barbara McLaughlin, who hopes to unseat Brown in November. Republican Senator Ellen Roberts of Durango has her sights set on rural health care costs, an issue that is familiar to her as someone who has led discussions across the state. Health insurance rates are up by 26% on the individual market along the western slope, according to the Colorado Division of Insurance. Roberts does not have a concrete proposal yet, but she is working with the Colorado Commission on Affordable Health Care, which was created thanks to legislation she pushed in 2014 to craft measures. Republican Representative Don Coram of Montrose is also preparing for the upcoming session, with one of his focuses placed on voting integrity. The issue is a recurring theme for Coram, who would like to require photo identification if in the last 29 days of the election cycle a voter has not registered to vote. The proposal comes after Democrats passed legislation in 2013 that allowed for same-day voter registration.
Our high in Dove Creek is expected to reach 34. Mid-morning reports of snow accumulation are running between 1 and 3 inches for the Dolores County and western Montezuma County area. 2016 year-to-date then is 6 inches at a minimum. The high for today is expected to reach 37 from some sources. Tomorrow through Sunday, highs will decline a little each day, finally just under 30 by Friday and lingering there probably until Tuesday of next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights, low temperatures in the mid and upper or lower to upper 20s, with Friday and Saturday in the teens and Sunday in the single digits. Winds are expected to be mild throughout the next 7 days. Snow likely, predictions from 40 to 93% and constant into Friday evening. Models suggest a foot of snow with locally higher amounts are possible in the La Salle, Abajo, and San Juan mountains. Decent accumulations are possible for the lower elevations to the south of these ranges on Wednesday, with amounts of 0 or of 3 to 6 inches with locally higher amounts. Multiple bursts of upper level energy will move into the west coast through Wednesday evening. Coastal rain and higher elevation snow will develop along the west coast through this evening, then a brief pause as the first system clears the area. By Wednesday morning, the second system will move onshore, bringing more coastal air and higher elevation snow to the west coast through Wednesday evening. The precipitation will break up over parts of the Pacific Northwest on Wednesday afternoon into the evening. The precipitation will increase Tuesday evening into Wednesday morning. More rain and higher elevation snow will develop over the southwest, moving northward to the parts of the northern Intermountain region. As the bundles of energy from the west coast move on out onto the plains, moisture from the Gulf of Mexico will stream northward over the plains into the upper Mississippi Valley and the upper Great Lakes by Wednesday evening. Rain will begin to develop over the southern high plains by this evening, moving to the southern central plains by Wednesday morning. The rain will continue to develop over the southern plains into the middle Mississippi Valley by Wednesday evening, with the heaviest rains over the southern plains. On Wednesday morning, snow will begin to develop over parts of the upper Mississippi Valley and the upper Great Lakes and steadily fill in during the day into Wednesday evening. Much of the area will see precipitation overnight, but the best chances continue to look like the southern valleys of both Utah and Colorado up to about the I-70 corridor, before shifting to the north by Thursday morning. Through this entire period, there will be times of snow, light to moderate generally, and then times when it stops altogether. Snow totals will vary considerably across the forecast area, but I would not be surprised to see totals over a foot for the San Juans through Friday. Elsewhere, developing upper level energy over Florida and onshore easterly flow off the Atlantic will aid in the development of rain over the east coast of Florida and through the southeast coast through Wednesday.
According to the Journal, the 2016 municipal election process officially launched yesterday, with candidates able to circulate nomination petitions. Held on April 5th, the election comprises 4 seats on the 7-member City Council. Mayor Karen Sheik and council members Jim Price, Ty Keel, and Tom Butler currently hold the posts up for grabs. Only Butler is term limited and disqualified from seeking re-election. A candidate must be a registered voter, 21 years old, and a city resident for 12 consecutive months preceding the election. Nomination petitions must include 25 signatures of registered voters living within city limits. A declaration of candidacy form is due January 15th, and all nomination petitions are due January 25th. Voters must be 18 years old, a resident of the United States, and city resident for 22 days before the election. The three candidates receiving the highest number of votes will each serve 4-year terms. The fourth candidate receiving the next highest number of votes will serve a 2-year term. The mayor and mayor pro tem are chosen by the city council after the newly elected members are sworn in on April 26th.
In a follow-up story on a land status issue out of Monticello, Utah, the Salt Lake City Tribune reported that tribal leaders in the Southwest said that they will no longer meet with Utah's congressional delegation on a proposal to designate a section of southeastern Utah as a national monument and instead take their interests to the White House. A 5-tribe coalition has accused Utah's representatives of lip service and a failure to engage. A failure to release a draft bill by December 30th deadline was the last straw, tribal officials said in a letter sent last week to Republican Representatives Rob Bishop and Jason Chaffetz. Quote, "Our strenuous efforts to participate in the Public Lands Initiative and related proceedings before that over the course of the past 6 years have been consistently stonewalled. We have never been taken seriously," the Bears Ears Intertribal Coalition wrote. "Our 5 sovereign tribal nations and our carefully drafted comprehensive proposal deserve far more than that." The group said Utah delegates are refusing to include a conservation vision for the landscape bordered by San Juan County's Cedar Mesa and Abajo Mountains into the Public Lands Initiative. Chaffetz told the Associated Press on Sunday that the group's assertions were hollow in nature and void of fact. Chaffetz said he doesn't understand why tribal officials are giving up discussions when a bill hasn't even had a chance to be introduced. Bishop said the coalition's agenda doesn't incorporate the wishes of Utah Navajos. Quote, "One of our efforts has been to reconcile this proposal with what Utah Navajos want, and a monument is not the solution," Bishop said in a statement. "A structured conservation area would allow Native Americans who live in the area to use this land and have the ability to maintain their traditional activities with the least amount of federal interference." The proposed Bears Ears National Monument is named for twin buttes that overlook Cedar Mesa as seen from Dove Creek there on the southernmost profile of the mountain range. The 1.9 million acre area would be bordered to the south by the Navajo Nation and to the west by Glen Canyon National Recreation Area and Canyonlands National Park. The Monte La Salle National Forest would make up part of the eastern boundary.
According to the Journal, a $5,000 social media fundraiser for a woman charged with child abuse has drawn ire from multiple residents. Launched on behalf of Holly Hartman on Thursday, December 17th, the GoFundMe.com campaign seeks $5,000 to help pay for a divorce attorney. Hartman, also known as Holly Cogburn, is in Montezuma County Jail awaiting trial on a child abuse charge. The campaign further outlines that since Hartman, a mother of 2, has been held in custody without bond, an ex-husband has been attempting to keep the supermom from raising her boys. The online response has been critical. Despite raising less than $100 from 4 donors in the first day, 8 others had posted on the campaign page as of Friday, warning people not to contribute.
This year marks the 25th annual Governor's Forum on Colorado Agriculture, which now is set to be held in Denver, Colorado on February 18th. As reported in the Fence Post, technology, labor issues, and changing rural demographics will be among topics discussed, as well as the future of ag and important topics affecting the industry. The theme this year is Next Generation Agriculture. The event will explore how Colorado can best prepare a next generation of top-notch producers. These producers will be tasked feeding a fast-growing population with less resources and a number of other challenges. The forum is hosted by the Colorado Agricultural Leadership Program and will cover the future of Colorado's rural communities, labor availability challenges, succession planning for farmers and ranchers, working multi-generational workplaces, the changing landscape for women in ag, Colorado's cannabis industry, technology, biotechnology, social media, and more. About 24 presenters and panelists are expected to speak at the event. Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper stated that, quote, Colorado's $40 billion ag industry is a top 2 or 3 contributor to our state's economy each year, employs thousands of Colorado residents, has been instrumental in leading us out of the recent recession, and most importantly, helps feed Colorado's 5 million people. Any conversations focused on supporting this industry and maximizing opportunities for the next generation of producers are absolutely worth having.
That's it for today's show. Again, thanks for tuning in. This program is aired live at noon and rebroadcasted at 2:30 and 8 p.m. on Channel 32.1, Dolores County, on Channel 30.4 in Montezuma County, and their cable channel 5.
You can also re-watch this broadcast on YouTube at the DCTV News at Noon channel. Be sure to contact us with your news suggestions, and all feedback is welcome.
For Kendra Cook, Jerry Tope, and all those working to bring you DCTV and the News at Noon program from Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. See you next time.